Anybody else got anything? This time we'll recognize any visitors who wishes to address the board about any matter that's on the agenda or not on the agenda.
I like it.
Miles.
My name is Bob Miles. Just want to read a couple of things first, and I want to ask a question. In your policy 1.400, it says that regular meetings of the board shall be held on the second Thursday of the month unless changed by the consensus of the board. Workshops shall be held on the first Thursday of the month unless changed by the consensus of the board. This policy has not been changed by the consensus of the board. Therefore, the Loudon County Board of Education is in violation of your own policy because you're having both of them on the same day. And Mr. Vance has already said that you're going to continue violating this policy through probably the end of March. Now, that brings up something else. According to your employee code of conduct, all Loudon County Board of Education employees, I think that includes you guys, shall comply with established policies, routines, and/or procedures as stated in the Loudon County Administrative Procedures Manual, Employee Handbook, Loudon County Board of Education Policies Manual, and the Employee Code of Conduct Employees Manual. So I've never heard why we're having two meetings on the same day. And what is so important to have two meetings on the same day that would cause you guys to violate your own policy and your code of conduct. You've got policies that you make teachers and students and administrators go by. You make them go by those policies. But yet you're violating your own policy. Therefore, violating your own code of conduct. So I've never heard why. I'm just wondering why, what is so important that you would violate these policies to have these meetings on the same day? No answers from nobody. Surely somebody is making you do that. You just didn't all agree on the same thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Miles.
Oh, you weren't here. Susan Gingrich, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I was at the September board meeting, and I left kind of pleased that there had been a decision to post within 5 days or 5 days before meetings to share information with the public. And I do also remember there was a vote that night on a motion to change the policy to allow you to have the meetings on the same night. And there was quite a bit of discussion from those of us that were there about it not really being fair to the public for you to do that. And it did upset me very much to be at the workshop meeting and see almost $500,000 in additional funding be proposed without, it seemed, a lot of forethought, or without the board members even knowing details of what each of the people were asking for, and then to a little bit later pass it without public knowing. I mean, that is a lot of money. You know, for your job at being on the school board, first of all, is to be looking out for the taxpayers and to think about what is needed versus what is wanted. There's an awful lot of expenditures for athletics in this school district. And I don't see quite as much. Now, I don't know a lot about the school district. I'm still new, I'm still learning. I do believe that everybody's intent is for children to be educated, to get a really good education and be successful in the future. That's what we all want. But we also want our tax money to be used wisely, with a lot of deliberation and thought going into how it's spent. And I'm waiting to see that component of this board. And, I'll be back, and I hope I get to know you all, because I am concerned in Loudon County, not just the school board, but also how taxes are spent and used without a lot of oversight and without a lot of transparency to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
I think I'm going to keep my comments very, very brief. First of all, Chairman Brown, thank you for not placing time constraints of 3 minutes today.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairman Jenkins has been doing that, but I haven't heard an explanation in public as to why that was done. And I feel that that is a policy change, and if you want to put time constraints of 3 minutes on each individual, that should be a policy that should be openly discussed and voted on. Your agendas do not indicate that. And for a chairman to arbitrarily make that decision, that's wrong. That's nothing more than muzzling the public. And you don't have that many speakers at a meeting, and they don't take up much time. I think last time we had Mr. Truitt spoke for 2 minutes, I spoke for 2 minutes, and the grandmother that wanted her child to attend the school because she didn't have guardianship papers, that whole discussion lasted nearly 7 minutes, and that policy wasn't followed in regards to having an appearance before the board and appealing the request. It has to be placed on the agenda and discussed by the board. So I too am very concerned about policies not being adhered. Why have policies if we're not going to follow them? And I think like Mr. Miles said, you are the governing body. We, the community, we look to you. The children, the teachers, the staff, we look to you and your guidance and your example. And that's very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hunter. Anyone else? Seeing none, we will adjourn.